Hey guys, welcome back to The Avenger. Did you miss me? In case you've been living under a rock, Avengers Endgame is almost upon us. I'm a little excited, and you should be too. So far, the MCU hasn't let us down, but they may have been holding out just a smidge. Every movie has deleted scenes, and I picked out the creme de la creme for you. Join us as we take a look at the 10 best deleted scenes for Marvel movies. You might be surprised what ended up on the cutting room floor. Thor and Loki have one of the most complex relationships in Marvel history. In the original Thor movie, the main man shows up late for his coronation. At this point, he's still the cocky god of thunder that thinks he can outdo anyone. As the pair wait to make their grand entrance, they have a little chit-chat about the past conquests. Mostly, they're mocking each other's skills. This scene does highlight the rivalry in the relationship quite well, but it's also a testament to their brotherly bond. Loki puts the joking aside for one moment to tell Thor how much he loves him, lasting just over 2 minutes. The conversation isn't key to the plot, but it would have been a nice addition. Sadly, it ended up on the cutting room floor, presumably because of time restraints. Considering Loki's betrayal was a huge plotline in the MCU, those few minutes would have helped amp us all up. The movies are just fine without it, but Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth gave the exchange a lot of power that ended up wasted. It's a crying shame, but if I can get over the snap, then I can get over this. When Thanos launched Gamora off a cliff in Avengers 3, it was clear that no one was safe. After all, the Mad Titan loved his adopted daughter, even if he had a funny way of showing it. If he was willing to sacrifice her to complete his plan, then everyone else was just collateral damage. The movie touched upon the strained relationship between this odd couple. Viewers saw how Thanos found Gamora while attacking her home planet, but her formative years weren't explored. What audiences don't know is that there was a whole 4-minute long scene that dives deep into the heart of their relationship. It was just scrapped. Thanos shows Gamora a memory of a time when she was happy to do his bidding. Like a proud father recalling the high school prom, he tells her how she was the most glorious woman in the universe. Gamora doesn't want to hear it, instead telling her papa that she was a prisoner. It's a scene full of emotion, heartache, and everything you'd expect from a parent-child relationship. In my humble opinion, Avengers 3 would have benefited from this scene. Hopefully, Endgame can shed a little light on that backstory. Black Panther. Black Panther is a movie about many things: honor, loyalty, and most importantly, family. If we've learned anything from the MCU, it's that the ties that bind you can also destroy you. When T'Challa lost his dad in Captain America: Civil War, we all felt it. The 2018 standalone movie got to the heart of T'Challa's story, detailing how he becomes Black Panther after his father's passing. The very start of the movie focuses on King T'Chaka's elimination of his brother N'Jobu. In a touching scene that never made the movie, T'Challa and Nakia are playing in the catacombs when they stumble across the king. Nakia leaves them in peace as they have a heart-to-heart chat about difficult decisions. It's a simple but sweet moment between father and son. T'Challa tells his dad that he's a brilliant king, which is exactly what he needed to hear. The relationship between the two is integral to the plot of Black Panther, but there aren't a lot of scenes with them together. With that being said, this scene could have really helped audiences to feel the sting a little more when T'Chaka cashed in his chips. Iron Man 3 let us see Tony Stark as a hero, with or without his gadgets. It's a long road for Tony, but it's made easier thanks to one little boy, Harley. The youngster doesn't have a male role model and is often on his own, so he appreciates Stark's company even if he's down and out. A series of deleted scenes introduce EJ, Harley's bully. EJ pushes Harley around, teasing him frequently. When the water tower gets brought down, EJ happens to be in the vicinity. Stark tries to warn him to turn around, but the arrogant teen keeps on coming. Even though he's a moron and a big old meanie, Stark realizes that EJ is just a kid and saved him after he drowns. The scenes weren't used in the end because, frankly, they didn't offer up much to the movie, so EJ was just unnecessary padding. Some fans believe it could have injected a little more tenderness into the relationship between EJ and Harley, proving that everyone can get along. What team are you on? Mark Ruffalo rocks as everyone's favorite green hero, the Hulk. It's difficult to accept that a decade ago, the character was played by Edward Norton. The actors are polar opposites. 2008's The Incredible Hulk was disappointing for Marvel fans and critics alike. However, it happened and there's nothing to do but accept it. The movie could have had some more grit if producers went with the alternate opening to the movie. In the deleted sequence, Banner hitchhikes to a remote part of the Arctic and attempts to end his torment once and for all. The Hulk emerges and stops Banner from doing it, crushing the weapon with his giant fist. While the scene was axed, the moment is referenced in the Avengers as Banner tells the rest of the team about it. According to the rumor, the only reason the opening was changed was because Norton just didn't like it. The Fight Club star supposedly quit the character because he wanted to be free to pursue other projects, but Marvel sang an entirely different tune. In a statement, they said they wanted an actor that embodies the creativity and collaborative spirit of the other cast members. Burn. Whatever the reason, it worked out well in the end. When Stephen Strange is first introduced, he's the worst type of guy. Sure, he's talented and all that, but he's a terrible person. He's arrogant and spoiled before his accident, then afterwards, he's entitled and moody. Thankfully, he discovered his true nature in the end, and stopped being a douche, but it took a while. There's an old trick in the movie making business that involves problematic characters saving animals early on to prove that they're good. It could be a kitten, a mouse, pretty much anything with 4 legs and a cute face. In the case of Doctor Strange, writers had him stumble across an injured dog on his way to find the Ancient One. As he walks down an alleyway in Kathmandu, Strange spots the limping pup and helps him out. Grabbing a stick from the roadside, he splints the dog's paw and it happily hops off. This unfolds just before Strange gets set upon by the gang of thieves. Personally, I love any scene with the dog that gets healed instead of hurt. Director Scott Derrickson had a good reason for axing it though. He believed that Strange didn't deserve to have redemption at that point. The character needed to work a little harder to be pegged as a hero, and not just a guy with an attitude problem. Loki only ever wanted one thing, to be accepted by his fellow Asgardians. Imagine growing up in the shadow of Thor, the guy who could do no wrong. Then, when you're all grown up, you discover you're not even related at all. That's a tough pill to swallow. His character arc is all about redemption, coming to terms with his heritage and realizing that Thor loves him regardless. I won't even mention what happened to him in Avengers 3 because honestly, I don't have any tissues and I need to get through this. In Thor: The Dark World, Loki is in jail when he has a dreamlike vision. He imagines his coronation as the one true king of Asgard, with his subjects cheering him on like they're watching the Super Bowl. Proudly, he reaches an arm up into the sky to grab Thor's hammer as it comes crashing down. The scene fell victim to editing, as did many other snippets, due to a change in director. Marvel Studios faced a crisis when they didn't like the direction the movie was going in, resulting in some post-production damage control. If you're a fan of the comics as well as the movies, then this one is for you. In the comics, Steve Rogers passes away, leaving the world without Captain America. He comes back later, but his buddy Bucky Barnes steps in to defend the world in the meantime, assuming the hero's title. Some fans believe that this will unfold in the MCU at some point in the future, mainly because of this deleted scene from Civil War. Cap and the rest of his comrades are fighting Iron Man and the Avengers at the airport when an explosion forces him to drop his shield. Bucky swoops in to retrieve it, throwing it at Iron Man. Impressed with its abilities, he turns to Cap and says that he wants one. Could this be a giant clue of what's to come? Maybe it would have been if it was left in the movie, but it can't be an official omen as it's not in the finished movie. Imagine being made into a super soldier, then plummeting to the bottom of the ocean for almost 70 years. Steve Rogers has been through a lot. He saved the world, but he sacrificed himself. At the time, he thought he was a goner, but he was in for a rude awakening in 2011. When he was pulled from the ice, he had to come to terms with this new, bright, advanced world. Try explaining Wi-Fi to someone who had to communicate via carrier pigeon. Audiences do see Cap adjusting to his new life, but with one sequence, we really could have drove this home. After watching a documentary about himself and the war effort, Rogers goes for a stroll in the city. Parked up at a cafe, he gets served by the same waitress he saved during the alien invasion. It's a candid moment, complete with a cameo from the late great Stan Lee. Joss Whedon had 3 hours worth of footage to whittle down, so it had to go. It's a crying shame though, as the scene put a spotlight on Cap's interpersonal struggles. Marvel fans have been itching for a Black Widow standalone movie for years now, and it looks like it's coming. Scarlett Johansson is set to dive into the backstory of Natasha Romanoff as part of Marvel's Phase 4. With so much of Romanoff's past only hinted at, it should be a crowd pleaser. Black Widow has a shady past, and that much is clear. As a reformed character, there's a lot that Natasha keeps close to her chest. In a deleted scene from Winter Soldier, the assassin is busy hacking into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s computers to air all of Hydra's dirty laundry. Alexandra Pierce questions her, asking if she really wants the world to know all of her shady secrets. The only moment she flinches is when he mentions the Children's War. It could have been great foreshadowing, setting up the Black Widow movie, but it was ultimately shelved. As the sequence is only a few moments long, it's likely that it just wasn't important enough to be kept in. It could still be a clue about the plot of Black Widow, but that's just speculation. There are 1,000,001 stories that could be pursued in that movie that are prime for the taking. I'm as excited to see it as Scarlett is to see her paycheck, although I'd rather be on her side of things. Well, there you have it. Do you think any of these should have been left in, or did editors make the right decision? Let us know down in the comments. And before you swoop off to fight another day, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you really want to make me happy, hit that subscribe button too so you stay up to date. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.